Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending upon where you're joining us from around the globe. This is Robert Leak, Director of Marketing here with Axie and eFolder, and I'd like to excited to welcome you to today's quick speed demo of the Business Recovery Cloud product. I'm actually coming to you live from San Antonio, and it brings a little bit more excitement about what we're going to be reviewing today because I'm here at the Exchange event sponsored by the Channel Company, and which I'll say if you ever have a chance to get involved with, I highly recommend it. It's a top class bunch, and really enjoyed what the week has been offering so far, which includes a lot. It's a lot of discussion about thought leadership, a lot of discussion around solutions and kind of what's going on in the landscape. And this is a product that we're going to be going over with here in a bit, Business Recovery Cloud, getting a lot of excitement from the people we're speaking to, mostly with, the things that are out there in the marketplace or the landscape, I'll say, not the marketplace. But, most recently, the PGA, right before the championship event a few weeks ago, they got hit with a ransomware attack, I think Tuesday before the Thursday tee times. It was, kind of caused them some headaches, and a lot of golf fans around, I'm sure, on the phone with us and probably saw some of that. But, compound that with the crypto locker, the new wave of crypto lockers that came through, I think, back in March, April timeline. There's just a more increased focus on kind of what people are doing about the data when disaster hits, not if, but when. And Marcus Williams is going to walk us through kind of how to defeat this ransomware stuff in 30 minutes. But we'd also, this is just going to be the tip of the iceberg for BRC, and we encourage you to maybe, hopefully, intrigue you enough to maybe dive a little deeper on that subject. But before we get too deep on it today, I do want to walk you through. Sorry, Sam, I kind of flew through the agenda a bit, but want to walk us through really kind of where we've come from, because one of the things that we're also talking about here at this event, and most of the partner conversations that I have, is really about who is Axie and eFolder. And as you see the slide develop, that's really how we've been developing over the years. It's actually going to start with the thing that you saw there at the end with backup. That was the original eFolder solution that we started the company on. The gentleman who wrote that, Kevin Hoffman, the code for that particular software, is still our chief technical officer today, and probably one of the most brilliant technologists I've ever had the company of working with. And himself and a few of the others, as they, saw success with backup and saw what was really the forefront of cloud technology and disaster recovery here in the IT channel. We knew that backup was strong, but it wasn't going to be enough. So we started developing, our own partnerships with OEMs who are utilizing our cloud, which was a really good thing. But then we said, hey, what about those things that we want to control? What about those things that are impacting the way that people are doing business and the amounts of technology shifts? We want to be able to kind of have a little bit more nimbleness as it relates to what we do. And we started investing in some of these other products that you see here on the screen. Start off with Anchor, which is a file sync and share solution, but at the same time, it's so much more because it actually has built-in security measures that your clients can kind of circumvent crypto lockers and ransomware attacks if they ever get hit by them. Cloud Finder is a wonderful cloud-to-cloud backup solution that's really focused on Office 365 and giving you the retention that you and your clients need for your email, contacts, calendar, etc. At the same time, some folks are selling it pretty efficiently, but we also know that sometimes it's hard to get margin on Office solutions. So this is a nice way to add not only a peace of mind, but some additional revenue to your solution stack. And then lastly is where we've landed actually for today's conversation, and that's our business continuity piece. We have Replicate that became a part of our family about 3 years ago. Really strong on-site chain-free solution, but at the same time, if you've got clients and those minutes mean dollars, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today with BRC and what we got with that Axie acquisition about a year ago. So I'm going to ask Sam to kind of roll through the next slide and pass the phone over to my friend Marcus. And how you doing today, Marcus?
All right, great. And thank you, Robert, for the intro. So guys, as Robert stated earlier, we're going to focus on our Axie Business Recovery Cloud solution. And the first thing we're going to talk about is gaps in the backup and recovery market. So I'm going to let you know what's out there right now. You may be familiar with one of these three options that you're currently using as your backup and recovery solution right now. We have our on-premise backups. These are backups that require manual offsiting of the data. Your RTO, or recovery time objective, is measured within days because you always have to rebuild that server and to use your backup data because it's usually just a file and folder backup. And it really focuses on data protection, hence the file and folder, and not applications. So you're doing a lot of rebuilding of that original device to restore with this type of solution. Now, if your client gets hit with ransomware and you're part of this setup, depending on how your incrementals work, you your backups may be infected with ransomware as well. So instead of you being able to recover from the previous day, you might be stuck with recovering from the previous offsite week backup there, a backup taken a week ago. Our middle section is our cloud backup option. So this is directly to the cloud. Now, again, this usually focuses on file and folder protection only. So if your client was hit with a ransomware, that backup is going to be encrypted in the cloud as well. So depending on your your RPO and your backup policy, the way that technology backs up, all of your devices could be corrupted because they're within that chain process. So instead of you being able to recover within days, the previous backup, you're almost recovering from the previous week. Again, losing data and really hard to get back with a ransomware. Now with this technology, there's no local protection. So you're always syncing data back down from the cloud. Depending on your bandwidth and the size of data could be time consuming as well. Now, last option at the bottom is our hybrid cobbled together solution. This is a mix of multiple vendors that you're leveraged to deal with to accomplish a single task. So you're using one technology for backup locally, and then you're using another technology to sync the data offsite to another location. This one is really difficult because it's hard to control that roadmap. You're dealing with multiple vendors. The functionality you're looking for may not be available for your local or in the cloud. Now, in addition to that, this takes a bit longer to manage and maintain. So again, you're constantly updating those, constantly checking those backups and ensuring that, hey, we have that backup locally and that sync is happening to the cloud. And again, you're managing multiple UIs. It's a lot of time to manage. Let's go to the next one here. With our technology, we're able to give you a warm site failover for the cost of a server replication. So with our Axiom BRC solution, we're able to recover your data in seconds to minutes using our local appliance. And if we're spinning up in the cloud, we can actually get you up and running within hours, usually 1 to 2 hours with our technology. So again, you're not investing in that additional data offsite. You're not maintaining that hardware. We're controlling that data for you. We just have that local backup appliance where we sync your original backups to, and then we sync that data offsite to our data center. So again, giving you that effective price point for your clients to allow you to make margin. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, why partner with Axiom? With our technology, we have over 50,000 plus customers covering over 400,000 endpoints. We're across all verticals, and our support usually has a 99% satisfaction rate. The key thing about our technology is that we own the IP, meaning we have 40 patents in place right now or pending. So we control that roadmap. We get a lot of our features from our existing partners. We get that input. We have partner panels at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, to kind of get that input to add those features to our roadmaps. We listen to our partners and we get that included within our technology. Let's go to the next one. Now, we're recognized as a market leader across multiple platforms. We're in Gartner, IDC, and Forrester, and that's over the years here. So we're a proven technology that's been around since 2007. So we've been in a market, in a channel, and we know exactly what we're doing when it pertains to backing up your data and giving you the ability to recover. Let's go to the next one. Now, partners like Axiom for multiple reasons. Number one, I like to say we're the best at what we do. As we stated earlier, we've been recognized as a leader in Gartner, IDC, and Forrester. We have over 50,000 customers, so our client set is there. We have use cases, we have references that we can give out to you. We have industry-leading support. So we have US-based support, 30-second SLA to pick up the phone, and we also provide you with dedicated onboarding services for each of your new clients that you bring on board. So our Axiom support is an extension of your support team. We're going to be in the trenches with you, supporting your clients, getting your clients up and running, and resolving any issues that may arise. With our technology, we allow you to make more margin or make more money than traditional solutions. Our technology is designed to scale, whether you're managing 3 customers or 50 clients. We're going to give you one UI to manage everything, and with that UI, we make it really easy and effective to manage multiple clients, and really support their backups and recovery. And last but not least, we're a channel first company. We're channel only. We don't do any direct sales. We're directly working with our MSPs. So we provide you with in-depth product training and sales training through our partner portal. So we also offer you co-selling and demand gen assistance. So we're able to help you sell for your clients. We're able to offer events, lunch and learns, and host events for your clients to help you sell our product and really get more clients for your MSP business. Let's go next.
Hey, Marcus, before we get too
Yes.
far past this one and we get into the demo, I just want to emphasize just a couple of points about the kind of the partnership that we develop with the MSPs we work with. And, you know, as you've covered, you know, I just want to point out that, you know, we really focus on being proven, painless, and profitable for you guys, right? We've got over 100 petabytes of data that we're working with, over 3,000 partners. We have, you know, been around, we've been proving ourselves, and we're focused on the channel like you just said. We've got the integrations with the various PSAs and RMMs out there to help you drive the continuity and the manageability within those things. And then lastly, as Marcus pointed out, we've got a really strong onboarding program, and even for Axient specifically in BRC, we don't just onboard you once. We make sure we walk you through every client you come into. So just want to make sure that that's really emphasized, that we want to position you guys for success and make sure that we're able to really develop the partnership that really sets the bar for every other vendor that you're working with. So with that, Marcus, I'll pass it back to you and jump into the demo.
That's a great point, Robert, and thank you. So guys, as we get everything transitioned here, and I share my screen, if there are any questions whatsoever that you may need, that you need addressed, please don't hesitate to use the question chat window within the GoToMeeting webinar tool. So I'm going to share my second screen here. All right, there we go. All right, so everything should be up and running here. So guys, this is our Axient Remote Management Console, or RMC for short. This is your main portal that you're going to use to manage all of your clients being supported by Axient. The good thing about this portal is that it's a web-based application, meaning you don't have to be VPN'd into that client's environment or into your environment to manage your devices being protected by Axient. So we give you that flexibility of management. From your main dashboard, you're able to manage multiple clients from this site. So think of your sites as your individual clients. If sites are protecting as expected, they're going to show up in our green section here. But if any devices fall outside of that RPO that we've set, it's going to bubble from the green to the red, giving you that instant visibility of, hey, what devices are outside of the RPO and what client is for. Now, as I dig into a particular client, I'll give you a lot of good information here. So as you can see, we're backing up 8 total devices. We have 2 that's outside of the protection threshold. Now, in addition to a visual notification that we provide for you, we also integrate with email notifications as well. So we could send you emails for any alerts that's happening within the Axient solution, but also if you're a partner of ConnectWise or AutoTask, we have API integration into that ticketing tool as well. So say you're a ConnectWise partner, just put in your queue information for your client, and as any alerts happen within Axient BRC, we actually create a ticket within the ConnectWise ticketing system. With our APIs, we actually give you really good integration here. So we have parent-child relations. So if you have an alert that pops in, hey, we aren't able to resolve that alert within the hour period, another alert comes in. Instead of creating a new ticket, we're going to actually add that to the existing ticket that's in the queue. So as your team resolves that alert, you close out the parent ticket, the child tickets close as well. So again, nice integration within AutoTask and ConnectWise. Now, if you're using any other ticketing system, as long as that queue can create tickets via email, we'll just put in the email for the queue here, and we'll leverage your existing ticketing system that you have in-house. Now, once you get the appliance set up, we're gonna give you an appliance that you put at each of your client site. Our appliances are pretty robust. We OEM on HP ProLiant servers, and we offer 3 models. We have a tower model, a 1U model, 1U rack server, and a 2U rack server. And those servers are very scalable. So our 2 terabytes can scale out to 6. Our 4 terabyte appliances can scale all the way out to 14 terabytes. And then we have a standalone 20. So you never have to rip and replace for your client. As your client's data grows, you just buy new storage, add that to the array, and we'll expand that array out for you. With our backup technology, this is really important. We don't require any agents. So our initial backup is going to be a full backup that we're going to send to that local appliance. We're going to target that device via IP address or host name. Pretty easy. After that initial backup completes, any additional backup that we take is just going to be incremental changes. Once those changes get to the local Axiom appliance, we have a process called reverse incrementals or synthetic fulls. With this process, we're going to take those changes, inject them into the full backup we took the previous day, keeping that full backup up to date at all times. Now here you get a lot of benefits with this backup technology. The first benefit you get is protection against ransomware. If your client gets hit with any type of ransomware, let's say they get hit on Wednesday, we can go back to any previous backup and recover those files or folders uncorrupted by the virus, because we don't have that chain process. In addition to ransomware protection, you're also going to get the ability to spin up in a fashion efficient way. We do all of our conversions and calculations during the backup process. So when it's time for you to select that recovery point, we're able to get that VM up and running within boot time, or usually within 5 to 10 minutes. Once we have those devices identified, they're going to show up here in your home screen. And again, you have your alerts. Now, as the device is healthy, we can click on Browse Devices to get more information. We can see the last time we did a local backup, the last time we did a cloud backup. If I click on a particular device, we get more information here. So we give you health status history within the last 30 days, when were we able to get a successful snapshot. We give you local protection summary. How much storage is this device taking up on that local Axiom appliance? And at the very bottom here, we give you the jobs targeted at this particular device. So as you can see, we're doing a full image job. We're doing it every day at 7 p.m. and we have a 30-day retention with our cloud sync enabled.
Hey, Marcus,
Yes.
as we're kind of going through this piece, we got a question come in from Mindy, who was asking about what can we do to prevent backing up of infected files and folders?
Okay, so that's a great question, Mindy. So with our technology, we're not gonna be able to stop that user from clicking on an email and accessing that link to expose your environment to that ransomware, but we can give you some resolution steps after that. Because of our reverse incremental technology, let's say if they get backed up, if your client gets infected on Tuesday, Tuesday's backups, unfortunately, are gonna include that ransomware data. But with our reverse incremental technology, we give you the ability to go back to Monday or any previous backup beyond that point to recover those files and folders unaffected. So we're going to give you the ability to go back in time and be more proactive in getting the data back without having to do a full OS install, installing the applications, and then restoring the data like you have to do with your traditional file and folder backup solutions. Great question. I think we have a couple of more here.
Yeah, I think one was maybe a little bit of
Maybe
increase your screen resolution.
Yeah.
I think it was some small print on some of this. And then additionally, the question came in about can our partners pick and choose the backups? Some devices on Monday, others on Friday, maybe from Tuesday, and kind of have a very set schedule based on their preferences.
Yes. So with our RPO, so when you set up your backups for each device, you'll be able to set a unique schedule per each device. So you can determine, hey, for this domain controller, I only want to back this up once a day, but I have a file server that I need to back up 4 times per day. And you can determine the days of the week and also the hours in which its backup occurs. So you have full control in that RPO setting. We can back up as frequent as every hour, but then we have the option to do daily, weekly, and on-demand backups as needed. Great questions. All right, great. So now back to our UI, our view here. Hopefully you can see a bit better now. In addition to showing
I think things coming in a lot better. Thanks, Marcus.
Oh, great. In addition to giving you granular information about each device that we're protecting, if I click on the services here, remember we have that Axiom appliance sitting at your client's environment. So as long as that Axiom appliance has an internet connection, we establish a secure tunnel here to that appliance. So at any point in time, as an admin, you can log into that physical appliance without having to VPN into that client's network. You have full control over that physical box where you can do advanced protection, advanced recovery, or just maintenance as needed on that local appliance. Again, that flexibility of management is going to be there. You have your login portal where you can log in and access that UI. In addition to giving you access to that local appliance on site, we give you a lot of information about that client. So we're going to let you know how much cloud storage they're using, how much local storage they have available on that appliance. Again, we're going to give you the total number of devices we're protecting, and also the storage usage history. How fast is that data growing on a month-to-month basis? The biggest thing I want you to take away from this part of the demonstration is the ease of use of our UI. You're no more than 1 or 2 clicks away from the information you're looking for. And once you find that information, that data is really easy to digest and understand. Meaning your team isn't going to have to spend 6 weeks in a workshop trying to figure out how to use our technology. You're really going to be up and running from day one. Now that we understand how we protect and manage using an Axiom solution, let's switch gears and talk about recovery. As I alluded to earlier, we're just not a backup solution. We created this technology to minimize downtime for your clients, to give you a fast and efficient way to recover that data. So to initiate any type of recovery, we're going to click on our green recover button. Our first type of recovery we're going to discuss is our file and folder recovery. So this is your number one, this is what you're going to use 9 times out of 10 if your client gets hit with any type of ransomware. Going to be able to log in here. We're going to say recover data. We have an option recover from that local appliance, or we can recover from the data we synced offsite. I'm going to choose local recovery for this scenario. We're going to select the server in which you want to recover from. Once you select that device, we're going to give you a list of dates based on your retention. So if you have a 30-day retention, we'll give you 30 days back. Or if you have a longer retention cycle, 1 to 2 years, just leverage our calendar here. Under each date, you're going to have that recovery point. So if you know we got encrypted on the 20th today, let's go back to yesterday's backup and recover that data. Let me go back to it here. Now, once we select that recovery point, we're going to select recover, and it's like I already have it up and running here. Let me take a look. Yes. Let me view that path, and we're going to present you with a file share path. From this point in time, you just take this UNC link, put that in Windows Explorer, and now you have access to that directory from that point in time. You can navigate through the structure, identify what files and folders you want to recover, and recover those in real time to the user or back to that machine. So again, we give you the ability to go back in time to get that particular recovery point that you need to recover those individual files and folders. So as long as you identify when the attack occurred and it's within your retention, you know you always have a clean set of your data. And that prevents you from losing any information from your clients. Perfect. Our next type of recovery is our local failover. So because we have that local appliance on site, we can actually spin up any devices of VM on a local box. Our devices come with a lot of resources. So our 1U rack servers in our towers, by default, you're going to get 32 gigs of RAM for local failover and 7 CPUs. Our 2Us are more robust. We're going to give you 15 CPUs for local failover and 44 gigs of memory to use. Now, on both of those appliances, you can always increase the memory. So, for example, our 2Us start you at 48 gigs, but we can extend that out to 192 gigs of RAM. So, a lot of options based on your client's needs here. To initiate that that local virtualization, we're just going to say start virtual machine. Here we give you 2 options. We give you a test mode and a production mode. I like to call this the manual test mode because we do have an automated feature for you. With your manual testing, a lot of our partners use this for patch testing, for example. Hey, Microsoft released a patch. I don't feel comfortable with applying this patch on my production device. Let's spin up yesterday's backup and apply the patch to it. Because we're booting in test mode, we're going to disable that virtual NIC. That way we don't have any IP conflicts of that server running in production. So this gives you a way to test any recovery point that we have within the solution to ensure that, hey, this recovery point can spin up to the operating system. We can log in, we can access that data. Now, as I mentioned before, this is our manual testing. We have an automated testing feature called automatic validation. This is something that you enable in each of your jobs that you've created for your devices. With automatic validation enabled, as soon as that backup completes, on a local appliance, we spin that up, get it to the home screen, and take a screenshot of that home screen login. We're going to be able to send that to you via email or to your PSA tool and that comes on a daily basis, every other days, or a weekly basis, depending on how often you set it up. But this gives your team the assurance that, hey, yesterday backup completed successfully, and yes, we can boot to the operating system without a problem. So 2 ways of testing, manual and automated for you within our solution. Now, our second option here is to put it in production. And this is for a true hardware failure that occurred at the client site. Let's say the motherboard went down on a particular file server and users can't work. Going to give your MSP a call. They're going to give you guys a call, and you're going to log into this UI and put that device in production. By putting that device in production, we're going to assume the same IP address and host name as that original device. So you're just going to select the device you want to use. Once you select that device, it's going to give you 3 options to set. You're going to choose your recovery point. You're going to allocate your RAM, allocate your CPU, and we're going to say it looks good. Once you initiate this action, we're going to be able to have that device up and running within boot time of that original device, or usually within 5 to 10 minutes. Your users, the end clients, can continue to work while your team's in the background fixing that motherboard issue. So really straightforward, minimizing that downtime for your clients. Now, let's say we've been running in local failover mode for about 5 days. You finally fix the hardware and you're ready to go back to your original device. We give you what I like to call 360 recovery. So we're gonna help you out from that point of failure all the way back to getting back to that original hardware. And sometimes we understand, sometimes you have to buy a new server. Whichever the case, we have options for you. So under our recovery section, our first type of restore option is our bare metal restore. With our bare metal restore, we're going to restore the operating system, the applications, and the newest set of data from that VM in local failover mode. This is really good if you're deploying back to physical machines, whether you have to buy a new server or you just repaired that older server, the broken server. With this option, we're going to provide you with a boot file. Going to put that on a USB disk, plug that into your fixed hardware, and boot to USB. Once you boot to USB, that hardware is now talking to that local appliance sitting at your client site. From there, we're going to present you with a GUI that's going to walk you through that BMR process. If we're deploying to new hardware, we have a section where you can add drivers and BIOS as well. So really prep you there. If you're restoring back to a virtual environment, under our Make It a Virtual section here, we have the ability to export the BMDK for VMware environments, or we can export the BHC for Hyper-V environments. So a lot of flexibility. Guys, everything that I showed you so far is recovery on that local appliance. Everything can be accomplished from that local box. So from your file and folder recovery to local failover, back to restore, we have you covered there. Now, our last recovery option is our virtual office in the cloud. This is leveraging our data center. With Accent BRC, I like to say we give you the keys to the castle here. We give your MSP team full control to use this hosted environment. Included with your contract, we're going to give you 40 days per calendar year per client to use this hosted environment. So your client calls you, they have a fire, flood, somebody cut the fiber, they need to be spun up in the cloud. Your next call isn't to call Accent. You don't have to pull out your credit card. You don't have to declare a disaster. Your initial action is to log into the UI and initiate that virtual office. Once you initiate the virtual office, just click on that button. We're going to present you with this UI here. Now, it usually takes around 5 minutes for us to create this. I already have it up and running. But you're going to see that client's devices in an offline state here. So your first step is to render devices, meaning you're going to assign CPU and memory to a particular device and select your recovery point. Because we're in a true data center, your resources aren't limited. We give you a list of resources here as a template. And as you go through your DR tests, again, you get 4 DR tests per year per client. We're going to give you 40 days per calendar year. So you can use any of those days for DR testing. So what most of our partners do, they say 30 days, put that in their back pocket for a true DR scenario, and they use the remaining 10 days for DR testing. So out of that 40-day period, we encourage you to use some of that time for DR testing. And as you go through your initial DR testing, you're going to know pretty fast if our original resources are enough for your client. If they're not enough, just give us a call and we can allocate more resources to that virtual office. So every time you spin it up, those resources are available to you. Now, once you have those devices up and going, they're going to be in a ready state. From there, you're going to start those devices in the correct order that your needed boot order. Once that device is up and running, we have the ability to log in to any device from our data center and give you access to it as if it was running on your network. So we have full control of that VM running in our data center. We can send our control delete command here, log in, and make changes to that device at any point in time. Once you have your devices up and running, you're almost there. The next step is to configure your office. So with our office configuration, the first thing that you're going to set is your network settings. So we want you to duplicate the network that went down, meaning want you to use the same gateway and use the same subnet that you have on site. That way you don't have to go back and reconfigure IP addresses for all the services running in our data center. Once you have that configured, we're going to enable outbound access. So now these services can talk to the internet. At this point, we're halfway there. We just need to get your clients connected to these servers. To establish that connectivity, we give you a couple of options. The first option we provide for you is SSL VPN. We're going to provide you with a Juniper VPN client for SSL VPN connectivity. The good thing about this VPN client is that it can be deployed beforehand. So you're not deploying VPN clients during a true DR scenario. Once you have your virtual office up and running, we're going to set an IP range of how many users we need to connect. We usually max out around 70 to 75 users. And because we have the AD server running in our data center, we can use Active Directory for authentication. So you'll put in the credentials for the AD server here. Once we have that set up, scroll up here, users going to go to an offsite location, someone with an internet connection. We're going to send them this URL, and they're going to sign in with their AD credentials. Once they authenticate here, if they have the Juniper VPN client already installed, we'll update that certificate to give them access, SSL VPN access to the servers running in our data center. If they don't have that VPN client installed, we'll try to push that down to that device that they're using. We always recommend that you deploy beforehand, but if not, just know we're going to try to deploy that VPN client once they log in here. So that's our single user. So think of this as a single user connectivity. Our second option for connectivity, and I like to call this option A and B, option 2A and option 2B, is our site-to-site VPN. If your clients have multiple locations and site A goes down, hey, everybody work at site B. If site B has an IPsec VPN capabilities within that router or firewall, we can leverage that existing hardware to establish that site-to-site VPN. We're going to provide you with a secret key here to establish that connection. And all we need is a subnet IP and subnet mask for that particular device. Once we establish that connection, any user connected on that network is going to have access to these servers running in our data center. And you don't have to deploy VPN agents to everybody. If your client doesn't have this feature available on their firewall or router, we can provide you with an endpoint to establish that site-to-site VPN connectivity. This endpoint runs on VMware. So this is a small VM that we're going to create. We don't need a full EXSI host at that location. We just need an instance of VMware. So this could be VM Player or VM Workstation. It can run on top of Windows desktop or notebook, any underused device at that location. We're going to set this up with network settings. So give it the gateway information, subnet mask, give it a static IP for that network. And once we have this endpoint done, we're going to provide you with a .ovf file. You're going to run this .ovf at that location, location B. Once that VM is running, we're going to give you information to put in a router at that site. Once that information is entered, your router is going to redirect traffic to go through this endpoint. So now any user connected on the network has access to these servers running in our data center. So again, SSL VPN for single user connectivity, our site-to-site VPN for multiple users to connect the site. Give you plenty of tools there. Our third and final option is port forwarding. We're going to provide you with at least 2 public IPs for this DR virtual office. So this can be used for a number of different scenarios. If your client has a public-facing web server, we could put that internal IP address here. Use whatever port you're using, 8080 or 443. You're going to go to your domain provider, your DNS provider, update your public DNS to match our public IP address that we provided here. Once DNS propagates, users are going to be able to hit that www.x.com URL and be redirected to the server running in our data center. We can actually leverage this for RDP connectivity, Citrix, etc. By default, we're going to give you those 2 public IP addresses that you can use for a number of a number of tools here, a number of reasons. With all of these tools available to you, most of our partners find that they can have their clients up and going in a DR scenario, usually within 1 to 2 hours of the setup, because they've been through the DR training, DR testing, they know exactly what levers to pull. So in lieu of that true scenario, they just have a DR plan to follow, and they can go down the line and to get that user up and going. One thing that we didn't talk about before, and I touched base on it earlier, is our white glove onboarding service. For each new client that you bring on with Accent, we're gonna assist you with the setup process. So we're gonna assign you with our support engineer, and we're gonna set up 3 calls with that engineer and your support team. The first call is gonna just go over your initial setup. We're gonna set up those jobs, set up those schedules, and make sure your alerting is correct. Usually wait 2 weeks for that data to sync. If it's a large amount of data, we do have a sitting drive where we can just manually ingest that data into our data center instead of sending everything over the wire. Once that data is synced, we're gonna schedule a second call. This second call goes over recovery. So we're gonna go over that file and folder recovery. We're gonna go over local failover. We're gonna go over this virtual office in the cloud and do a mini DR test with your team. After that call completes, we're gonna wait another 2 weeks and schedule our third and final call. At this point in time, this solution's been up and running for about a month in your client's environment, and we're really having this call to answer any additional questions that your team may have and make any tweaks if needed to the solution. As stated before, our support team is going to be with you at any point in time. So if you have any questions whatsoever, we have a 30-second phone SLA. We're always available to assist your team. I like to say we are an extension of your support team. So we're always available to assist you directly, or can assist your clients directly on your behalf. All right. Before we end today, go ahead.
No, I thought you were wrapping up, Marcus. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes there.
Yeah, I am wrapping up. Well, do we have any additional questions in the queue that we may need to answer?
No, I think we covered most everything. So, appreciate those folks who sent in some questions. We did get one that was asking about costing. And as everyone saw, as it relates to the BRC product, it's extremely flexible, and we want to make sure that we tailor it to what you are willing to provide your clients and what your clients are looking for. So without getting into, to me specifics there, I'd just like to encourage you to, set up some one-on-one demo time with, Marcus or one of his colleagues, and go through maybe some of the details that you kind of piqued your interest, maybe some questions you didn't have a chance to ask because you thought maybe it was a little bit too focused on yourself. That's exactly what we'd like to do for our one-on-one demos. Understand what it is that you're committing to your clients and how our solutions can really help you, fit that bill in a profitable manner. As you see on the screen here, now is a great time to actually go through one of those one-on-one demos for BRC, as we are in the middle of our Fast Track to Partner Success Sweepstakes, and we're really excited about what BRC as well as our other business continuity solutions are doing. And if you just go through a one-on-one demo, we're going to put your name into the hat to potentially win our BMW sweepstakes, where we're announcing that winner in November. So we're getting close, and now is a great time, and we'll make sure that you have the opportunity to click on that here in the near future. But if you just want to sign up for that now, you can go to accentefolder.com to find out how you can essentially set up that demo and get your hat in the ring for possibly a new BMW 3 Series. And with that, Marcus, I don't think we've had any other questions that we're able to address here at a broad scale. But again, thank you to everyone today. I want to be respectful of your time, and hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, and look forward to maybe, again, getting you set up with Marcus or one of our other sales engineers to talk a little deeper about BRC. Thanks, and have a great day. Appreciate all your help, Marcus.
Thank you, guys. Take care.